Hello, dear viewers. Thank you for joining me for your daily tarot reading. I always ask you to pick the stone that draws you, the one that resonates, and we can begin. I'll do a golden nugget card at the end for further clarification if any of you want that. All right. For those of you who chose the pink stone, rose quartz, we have the Ten of Swords, we've got the Queen of Swords, we've got the Page of Swords. Okay, lots of sword energy happening here, but minor arcana. So this is more about your day, this time, and it's really just guidance. I feel like Source gives us these for guidance. This is your indicator, so you're intelligent, you're able to have a good plan, you're able to be logical, you're able to say what you think today, you're able to put it in a mature way though. You're able to express yourself well, directly, but maturely today with that Queen of Swords. And that is a good thing, because I think Source is saying please draw upon that, because the Ten of Swords, I don't know if there's a painful situation. Again, this is minor arcana stuff, not huge stuff, but I don't know if there's something that has you low, or it's sometimes this is the martyr card. It's, you're giving up your own well-being for other people to the extent that it's actually harmful to you. Sometimes it's the negative thinking card, where you're having a lot of negative thoughts that are painful to you, or other people are flinging. Sometimes you get this Page of Swords, so it could be other people are saying some things that are really impacting you. But the Queen of Swords comes back to logic, and she makes a plan for how to take care of herself, her emotions. The Page of Swords doesn't so much do that. The Page of Swords doesn't have the maturity to do that. They might just talk off the top of their head. But the King and the Queen, they can use logic, they can make a plan, and they can take other things into account, even though they still really like to rely on logic. And that might be your friend today. They can also take their emotions into account. They can take others' emotions into account. They know what's going to work, and they're pretty disciplined about holding themselves to their plan for the day. And I'm saying regarding something, it doesn't have to be the plan for everything. But there might be something in your environment that has been just difficult. So, looks like the news is good, because you're well able to figure that out and move beyond that. Source is giving you these cards to, put your brain on that. Put your brain on that. Make a simple plan. Okay. For those of you who chose the moonstone, we have the Seven of Swords, we have the Chariot, yes, and we have the Nine of Wands. Okay, very interesting cards today. Okay, so the Chariot might be pulling you forward at this time in your life. You're being pulled forward into new territory. The Chariot, we have the two horses, two sphinxes in the Rider-Waite, they're sphinxes. The Chariot is being pulled forward by two animals. And they're looking out from each other slightly. They're not both facing front. So they might be going in slightly different directions, but man, they're pulling this thing forward. So it can be rocky, it can feel out of control. The Chariot rider, usually does not have a bridle. They're just kind of going along for the ride. There's something mystical about it. There's something that will bring you to a new place. Now, very interesting. You really may need it, because the Seven of Swords, there might be somebody with a hidden agenda that is, I don't know if there's something, sometimes not necessarily sneaky. Once in a while it is. Sometimes it's not necessarily, lying. Sometimes this is somebody trying to take more than their fair share, or it is that somebody else's agenda somehow involves you. You know, somebody else's agenda somehow involves trying to get something from you, and it may not be very clear. So this is a note to keep an eye out from that. Or if that has been going on in your life and you know what this is, the Chariot's trying to pull you away from that. Chariot's trying to pull you away from that. So that's your major arcana. That's your real energy in this reading. The Nine of Wands. See, I don't think you're supposed to worry about it though, because the Nine of Wands, you know, that's the guy in the Rider-Waite with the bandage on his head. He's had 9 battles. His wands are there. He's strong. He's steady. He's got the 9th wand in his hand, but he's guarded. He looks wary. So I just kind of think that maybe there's been something, and it can be in your immediate environment, but in relationships, but it can also be on a larger scale. There is something that has you feeling a little embattled, a little battle weary, a little guarded about the future. But you know what? That Nine of Wands guy, he's strong, and he makes it every time. You might be getting an assist from the universe to really deal with these issues. And you know, we get cards like these and we kind of wonder, oh Maya, you know, if we're not feeling like there's anything that bad going on in our lives or anybody that, you know, we're worried about. A lot of times we'll get these cards when it's some larger issues happening, maybe in our culture, maybe in our society, but that are indeed impacting us, and we do indeed feel wary about. But the Chariot's going to pull us all forward, you know, to a new place. We're getting an assist from the universe. That's what I'm seeing there. For those of you who chose the blue stone, we have the Ace of Swords, we have the 8 of Swords, and the 8 of Cups. Okay, so very interesting. The 8 of Swords is all about feeling trapped. It's all about our thoughts that trap us, or, you know, and that's not to say that they're not, some of them aren't valid barriers, but we can move forward anyway. See, this 8 of Swords woman, she feels like she's tied up. In this card, she just has her skirt just wrapped around her legs. She's not tied up at all. You know, she could definitely move forward. I don't know if her arms are, but she could definitely get up and move off that chair. The swords are not, they feel scary, but they're not really impeding her. So then she could move her blindfold up. She could pull her blindfold up and be aware of what really is. The thoughts may exaggerate the barriers. The thoughts may make this person feel like she can't move forward. The Ace of Swords brings the truth, though. The Ace of Swords is Source bringing just a lightning bolt. Look at the lightning there. That's interesting. Like an epiphany, a revelation. Yeah, this is probably epiphany and revelation with this. Either that or your planning is really on target and you know what to do. If there are real barriers, you can make a plan to remove one after the other. The 8 of Cups is, yes, moving off. You know, in the Rider-Waite, this is the man who is leaving the 8 cups that are upright to go off and walk off alone in search of the 9th cup, which is the wish card. In search, in search of what's missing. So that's what he is doing. So the 8 of Cups is a lovely card because it's saying that you've got a lot going for you. You've got a lot of, sources of emotional fulfillment you've built in your life, but yet something feels like it may be missing, and you may feel like you're trapped and you can't get the desires of your heart. Ace of Swords is going to bring you an epiphany about one of those thoughts that is holding you back today. So that's excellent. These are excellent cards. Wow, they're a lot about the inner life today. For those of you who'd like a little further clarification, we have the Golden Nugget card, which is the Ten of Wands. Okay, yeah, and more along the same theme today. So the Ten of Wands is feeling a bit overburdened, and she's carrying all those wands, and of course she's going to make it. But man, she's working late, isn't she? Because it's night. So she may feel rather overburdened, but she's strong. She's going to make it. A lot of times the Ten of Wands represents maybe all of our tasks and priorities, but it can also represent all of our worries, our concerns, our what is important to us. And maybe a lot of things are important to us. So maybe we tend to carry them on our backs. And you know what? We can only handle one wand at a time. We can only deal with one thing at a time. You know, sometimes I feel like the Ten of Wands card is people carrying things around in their head because they don't want to forget to worry about this, or they don't want to forget that they need to do that. But it doesn't necessarily make them more effective. It doesn't make them more efficient. And it certainly is a waste of energy. I think most people can fall into this pretty, fairly easily, unless you've really developed a discipline to focus wholly on the one thing that you are doing. It involves some trust. To trust, you can ask Source to remind you of this or remind you of that, or take care of this worry or that concern. And really, really let them go. Carrying them around in your mind or in the back of your mind, not going to help. It's just not going to help. It's going to drain your energy. And sometimes if we really let it all go to Source, we get clarity. And sometimes we get enjoyment. If we have one thing at a time, we can enjoy the one thing we're doing at a time. There is nothing wrong with that. And in fact, I feel like we think we're going to be more productive if we're super efficient and we take care of this, and this. Or we think we're being more responsible to worry about that, and that. But the truth is, it actually impedes our ability to deal with those things. So that might be something to think about today. All right. Well, I thank you all so very, very much. I hope you have a terrific day. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.